Yeah, I guess
Ethan.
I can jump in really quickly. Hey, coach, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just curious about your recruiting class as a whole, top five in the country. How satisfying is that for you and your staff to land such a highly touted class?
Well, it's always exciting. Excuse me for my voice. This is actually the best it sounded in 3 days, but I actually didn't know what it was ranked until I saw, Hunter put it out yesterday. So it's always exciting to see what you believed to be, obviously a ton of talent, and for them to get their rankings is pretty exciting. But I think it's a testament to, our staff worked our butts off. We recruited a ton. We found not only top talent, but top talent that fits really well with being a Razorback and what we do here. And so we're just really excited and can't wait to get to work.
It's also really interesting, I think, looking at the class, four out of state, one Lily Faye McWhorter, who is in state. Was that something that you guys were kind of thinking of, looking obviously, like you said, for the best talent, but, trying to find that from across the country and as well as in Arkansas?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You obviously want to any chance you get to keep someone like Lily Faye home, you better fight like tooth and nail to make that happen. But yeah, I hadn't even, you just work and you try to find the best class and you try to, get the ones that you feel like will fit here and have the level of just talent and level of success that you want. It wasn't until my dad asked me yesterday, it was like, hey, so where are your recruits from? I didn't even realize they were from 5 different states. And it's kind of what we've done here is we're just trying to find the best. Doesn't matter where they're from. We'll go anywhere and to find that right fit. And so it's just really cool that we have five from 5 different states and we get to keep Lily Faye home. It's pretty exciting.
As for Lily Faye, I'm kind of curious, and correct me if I'm wrong. Was it her brother who put up the billboard um, about wanting to be a Razorback, or is it just ended up being the same last name? I
I
don't
think
know.
just the same last name.
Gotcha. Didn't know if there was a
Oh,
relationship, but there was. He's a football lineman, I want to say, and put up a billboard a while back about wanting to be an Arkansas Razorback. Ultimately, ended up decommitting, but was just
yeah.
curious on that. Saw the last name, was wondering if there was any relationship that you know of there.
I think it's just a coincidence. Pretty crazy.
That's funny. I'll turn it over. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay. Coach, I wanted to just ask about Sailor Timmerman in specific. How neat is it that number one, she's friends with a lot of the players that are on this year's team that, she's going to step on campus and instantly kind of have already a group that she's pretty comfortable with.
Well, it's always nice when you have a level of comfort when you're going away from home, and it's always nice too when you have kind of a good little pipeline to same travel ball teams or some of those top players that get the opportunities to play together. It's nice that she got to play with Ella and Cam with USA, and then she played with them this past summer, and Ashton Record as well. But and then this year she's playing with Kyler Del Duca, which is another one of our signees. And so it's just really nice when they have that comfort level, that sense of familiarity, and you just feel even more so like it's a family. You just walk right in and you feel right at home.
Yeah. Well, you talk about, you brought her up, Kyler, what that recruiting process has been like. I know it's always, interesting when you get to recruit California talent.
Yeah, her every recruiting process is a little different. Hers was definitely different, and we got that commitment this fall. So with the other ones, we got it last fall, and with Kyler, she was just just later in her process, and she plays on a team out of California. It's known to be the top team around with Mike Stith as the coach, and she's it's always nice it's always nice to get those highly competitive, just crazy athletic kids. And then she's in a system that breeds championships and champions. And so it's just a really, she's the whole package. She's also the quarterback of her high school flag football team. So pretty insane. If she's just crazy athletic. So you guys are going to really enjoy watching her play.
Yeah. I'm curious. Since you brought it up that she does that, whenever you recruit athletes that are dual sport athletes that do multiple things, is that what are some trends that maybe you pick up on whenever you're recruiting athletes that don't just play softball?
Well, I like it. I mean, it takes all kinds. You have some early specialization happening now. I'm like my sister and I, when we went through it, we played We played everything. And then in high school, we played volleyball too. I just think that when you play other sports, you just have just really all around athleticism. Like you have to use different muscles, you have to use different, ways of being an athlete. It also gives your mind a little bit of a break. So you're not doing, the one sport year round all the time. So I really enjoy it. I really like it when our players play multiple sports. I just think they come in and they're fresh and they just have just a ton of athletic skills.
Yeah, will you talk to me a little bit about Brinley Bain, and what that recruiting process was like? I like hearing about the under the surface stuff of the recruiting process.
Well, it's so funny because they're all such different personalities. And for Brinley just she plays really big. She is one of the shyest humans I've ever been around. But she is ultra competitive and plays really, really big. And once you get her warmed up, she gets going. But if you were here on her visit, you would have been like, I don't know how this is going, because she just is so quiet. She's really, really shy. You have to work for it, really hard. But that process just felt like it fit. We had been watching her for a really long time. She had a lot of really big schools after her, but when we got her on a visit, it felt right. It just felt like it fit. And the good thing is it felt like that on her side too. But her dad coaches her in travel ball. They're just a really competitive family, hard nosed. She is just a worker and she's about as tough as they come. And so she's going to be a huge addition for us.
And then last one I'll end on asking about is Kamari Hall. I know she comes from the Impact Gold system, which has been pretty good for you all here recently.
Yeah, it's been really big for us, with Ella and Cam and Ash, and that's where Brie Ellis played. And so it's a big pipeline for us. She actually played on a team called the Riptide, and then she just decided to move over team. So Kamari is just incredibly dynamic. You'll watch her and she just will remind you a lot of like a Reagan Johnson. She can fly. She is dynamic. She is true triple threat. And she just covers so much ground in the outfield. So she absolutely can be a difference maker. And she's just really exciting to watch. This is such a great
Thanks.
class. I know this is such a great class. And, we're excited about our freshman wave this year. And then we were excited about our 25s. We're excited about our 26s. And so I just feel like they see that this is something really special and we're getting some really top talent and really incredible humans to come be in our program. So we're really excited. This is a top tier, really, really great class.
I gotta ask, in the middle of all you getting this class signed, Danielle just had a child. What's that been like the past few days around the office?
Well, it's been great. She had baby Wit, I think, what was it, like a week and a half ago now. Coach Gasso and Grace just had their baby yesterday. And so we have two little babies in the program and we still have another one on the way in February. So, it's just really exciting. It's exciting for just to see like having Danielle be in the program and then get to be a part of like getting to see her get married and get to see her become a mom. It's just really incredible, and she's handling it as beautifully as you possibly can, as we would all expect. But yeah, there's something really special about getting to see your players just embrace their kids. And Danielle brought Wit to practice this morning, and I think he was in, I don't know, 10 different girls' arms, and they all just get to, it's like their baby too. And so it's just really exciting. And then we got the announcement last night that Coach Gasso and Grace had their little one. So it's just been a really fun fall, and it's always nice. Just kind of brings you down, gives you really good perspective. And it's just a really exciting time.
We've talked about a decade of Deifel and how you had your kids here. Is it weird to you that they're now kind of the big kids?
Yeah, I know. It is kind of crazy. It was funny because one of our players, Jaden Wells, we were talking when Gib had her baby, and she was just like, "Oh my gosh, Coach D, I remember when I came to camp and you were pregnant." She's like, "Who would that have been with?" I'm like, "Oh, that had to have been Walt," because I was hired when I was pregnant with Trip, and so I had the first team meeting and had Trip 2 weeks later, and so anyway, she pulled up the picture of me and Jaden at camp, and I was like, what's the date? It was like 2 weeks before, or 2 days before I had Walt, and I'm just all like this huge belly, and Jaden's this little baby face, and it's fun. Now they're the old, one of the older ones. Coach or Matt has the oldest kid in the bunch, but it's just it's really fun. It's fun on two ways because our boys, our kids, they get to get raised in this program, and they get to see these incredible athletes and get to just be around them all the time. And we always tell our players, like, you have a hand in raising our kids. You're around them all the time. But it's really special too, to like see it through their eyes of just getting to see these kids grow up. And for someone like, Jaden sitting there going, oh my gosh, I remember when Walt was in your belly and I was at camp, and now you look and he's a 7-year-old and she's gotten to see him grow up. It's just really special. And there's just a really fun and really unique connection. And I know our kids are the luckiest. It's just a really, really neat relationship that they get to have.
Yeah, I'll end on this. I bring that up because whenever you talk to the recruits who come in and decide to join your program, like I'm sure a lot of in this class, what they saw, they all bring up kind of the family aspect. And how do you think that plays a role in being able to bring in a class like this when they see that y'all are going to care for them and kind of like just that family aspect?
Well, I'd like to think that should matter a ton. I think you should, I think that when you make a choice, you're making a choice for somewhere there where you're going to be your best, and somewhere that's going to take care of you and bring the best out of you. And so I hope we take a heavy responsibility in that. I hope when our recruits come and their families come, they know that they can trust us with their daughters. And so it means a ton when they come here and say it felt like home, or it felt like a family, because that's who we are. We're always like, what you see is what you get, and so they very much are a part of our families. Our families are very much a part of what we do. And so I hope that they feel that from us every day. That's who we are. And that's how we genuinely are going to be our best too, is when we get to do that. So it's really special.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, I had a couple questions.
Okay.
So I'm here with Ryan Lander. I went to Sailor's signing yesterday, and I talked to her, and I said, why Arkansas? And she told me the coaching staff, the people, the culture. Can you kind of tell me the culture she was talking about on what drew her to Arkansas?
Well, I think that it's a culture that we really invest in every day. It's probably the thing we try to protect the most with who we invite in too, is it's a culture where we just deeply care about each other, and you can feel that it exudes from us and how we interact and how we, approach every day. And it's a culture that cares, and it's a culture that when you care about them, where it's coming from, you can push them further than they think they can go. We're going to get their best out of them. And we're going to have those days where, we just tell them we need more from you, or you need to be better. And they know that that's coming from a good spot. We do the work for that. And so it's a culture where we're going to meet them where they are, and they're going to fit in what we're doing. And so I think you could come in and see that we have a lot of different individuals, but we really care about this program and where it's been and where it's going. And so we make every decision for what's best for this group and this program. And we have a lot of special people that have played in this program, and a lot of special people that want to come in and continue to leave their mark and push it to places it hasn't been yet. And Sailor's definitely one of them. So we're excited.
Absolutely. And, talking about the recruiting process, she lives up here in Wisconsin. We have maybe 1-2 months out of the year where there's no snow when you play softball. What kind of made you, when you looked for one of the best pitchers in the country, go up to Wisconsin to try and find someone?
Well, we got to see her first in warmer weather. So we got to see her out on the travel ball circuit. And obviously you can tell right away that she's just a unique talent. I got to get up to Wisconsin and got to see her in a swim meet. So that was really cool, and got to see her hometown in that area. And, I think that's something that drew her to Fayetteville too, is just kind of that familiarity, that sense of like it kind of felt like home to her. You know, it's a different landscape where she's from, and it definitely had pieces of that here. But you're right. It's like to excel in her sport in an area where it's so cold and you have to do most of your work inside. It's really unique, and so it's pretty cool. She also does this, this isn't what you're asking, but she does this like almost like a polar plunge. Like the second the lake unfreezes, she is the first one to jump in every year of her family. I know, Ethan. That's what I said too. But it's just, you have a grinder when you have a that level of talent as a pitcher in an area where you don't get to get outside much and you just have to grind inside. And so you can tell right away she's someone that wants to be the absolute best, and she's going to do whatever it takes to get there. So she's a very special talent.
Absolutely. Thanks, Coach.